It's Bob.
Sorry?
It's you, Bob.
It's apple pie tonight.
Is it? Since Friday, then?
Yes.
Following advice from Chris Rea, I always crack an egg into my bath. I've done for 22 years.
We should say, for any of the younger viewers, some of my fans, who Chris Rea was a very popular singer.
When did Chris Rea give you this advice, and in what context?
I was making a single for Middlesbrough Football Club's FA Cup appearance called Let's Dance, which I did with Chris Rea. And after we'd completed the recording, he popped me into the bath, and there was an egg. It's an egg in it.
He popped you into the bath. It's been a long day, you must be very tired. Yeah. I'll just pop you into the bath. Yeah. So where was this bath? Was it at the recording studio?
It's on a little island in the middle of the Thames. It's as Rare's recording studio is.
So you've been recording, presumably, in a room without a bath?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you finish the recording, everyone's very happy with the track.
Yep.
And he says, Bob, you look tired. Maybe your joints are aching. This way.
No, it's not exactly like that. It says, that's it, Bob, I think we've got that leg. That's your bedroom, that's your bath. I've popped an egg in there for you.
Is he Geordie?
Yeah.
He's like where I'm from, Middlesbrough.
Right.
But he's much more Middlesbrough than me, like.
And why would he put an egg in your bath? What was the thinking behind it?
I've never found out.
You've done it ever since.
All I know is that I woke up the next morning and I have never felt so alive.
Was the egg still in its shell, floating, or had he gone...
No, the white had dissipated. Does that work?
Yeah.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. It's non-greasy, which is a boon, isn't it?
Is it non-greasy?
Yeah, honestly.
It's less greasy than water without egg in it?
Do you have to mix it up, or do you just crack it and let it float?
Do you know what? You get in the bath, even in the bath where I am now, and you get in and you really don't want to burst the yolk. So the white goes, but the yolk's there, and you move like that, and you try and get it to come towards like that. And I don't know why, but you just do.
Have you ever had it get in your mouth?
You get it there like that. And then you get the yolk, and I use it for hair conditioning. Really? I don't know how much hair, but to condition the hair on my skin.
So, just going back to the original occasion, Chris Rea had already run you a bath.
Yes.
I forgot about that detail.
If you knew Chris, it's just so Chris. Yeah. Do you know, the other thing is a couple of weeks later, he sent me a gold doily.
Right. To dry yourself off?
I don't know. But so, I'm just saying, these things are just so Chris.
Do you think that the way Bob describes what happened to the egg white... he says it just dissipates. Is that plausible?
If your bath is hot, then you're going to have a poached white.
I'd have thought the white would turn white. And
how hot is your bath? Your bath is hot enough that an egg could poach.
Well, I don't know. Your claim is that it dissipates. I'm asking my team whether we believe that it would dissipate. Because if, for example, at the temperature of a bath, say 39 degrees Celsius, the white would turn opaque, then your story doesn't check out.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely agreed.
I think...
What do you think, David?
I think it's fair to say that if anyone else had made this allegation about Chris Rea and an egg in their bath, we wouldn't be giving it a moment's consideration. Somehow, coming from Bob, it might be true. It's true.
I think...
You think it's...
I think it's true, because he's been about a bit, Bob.
No.
I think the white would poach.
Yeah,
I think the egg is the important
chemical
part.
analysis of the behaviour of the albumin.
David, honestly, one thing, please don't base it on the album and whitening. It does not happen. It does not. I can't have a bath at 80+ degrees.
Is that the temperature at which an egg white will...
80 it'll start at about 80, yeah. Honestly, please don't base it on that.
What should I base it on, Bob?
George...
What are you going to say?
Instinctively, I believe it. We're going to go true.
You're saying true? OK, so, Bob, Chris Rea, eggs, baths, is it the truth or is it a lie?
This is awful.
I was telling a lie.
Of course it's a lie! He said Chris Rea put an egg in his bath! Of course it's a lie! It's obviously a lie! Who could possibly believe that? It'd be more likely that someone was stuck in a car wash for 3 hours.
Yes, it's a lie. Bob doesn't crack an egg into his bath following advice from Chris Rea.
I was once mugged by a fox.
Please, Steve.
Was it Edward Fox?
I didn't catch his name, please.
So, when was this?
This was... I was probably about 18.
18?
Yes, about 11 years ago. I'm only 29.
And what did he get? Your glacier mints?
No! I was on a night out with my friends, and I'd split from my friends, and my friend didn't live too far from where we had the night out.
Where, Rylan? Which part of the country?
It was in Essex. It was in Romford. So I decided to walk back to his, and he lives in, like, a cul-de-sac, like a dead-end road.
Yeah, we know what a cul-de-sac is.
What you don't know is that in Romford they're quite posh.
Yeah.
It's an important detail.
It's a very important detail, a cul-de-sac.
That's French.
Yeah. So it's only dead end literally, not metaphorically. These people are going places.
It depends what side of Romford.
Right, yeah.
So I'm walking down his road, and as I'm walking down this road, there's a wall, and there was a fox on the wall, and I was a little bit...
On the wall?
On the wall, just perched on the wall.
What's he doing up there?
Just looking at me. And, you know, I don't know if anyone else does this, but if there's, like, a fox or anything, I just sort of stamp my foot and went, you know, for it to run away. Instead, the fox slyly crawled down the wall and walked towards me.
Oh, my word.
Like, really slowly as well.
Yeah. Right.
Which put me on edge. Now, I've got my phone in one hand and my wallet in the other. I was wearing an extremely skinny pair of trousers. I had no pockets, right? So, as I've gone, like, what the hell is going on with this fox? The fox jumped towards me. It leapt off of all of its legs.
Yeah.
And...
Whoa. How many legs?
4. All 4
Can
of
I
its
just check?
legs.
Does that add up?
Yeah. Okay, come on. Thank you. And in the ruckus, like the panic, I've gone, and dropped my phone and wallet, and it grabbed my wallet in its mouth and ran away.
It ran away with the wallet?
It ran away with my wallet in its mouth.
When you rang your bank, were there any unauthorised uses of your credit card?
Well, it's funny because I did have to ring the bank the following day, and I said, my wallet's been stolen, I need to cancel my
direct
cards.
debit from a chicken coop.
And they said, that's fine, we can cancel your cards, but if you could get a crime reference number, because you've said it's been stolen, we need to just log it on the system. I said, yeah, that's fine. So I had to ring the police and describe the assailant.
And how did you describe him?
Ginger and fluffy.
He didn't take the phone, did he?
No, I kept the phone.
Okay.
I was very lucky.
And did it come back? Did you...
No.
It never came back?
Never found it again, so there's some fox out there having a right old jolly up.
What do you think? Could it be true?
Did you not make any attempt to chase him, or...?
No, I was just in a panic, and I just wanted to get to the nearest point of safety.
I think it's a lie.
I think it's a lie. On the one hand, I don't think he's telling the truth. On the other hand, I've never got one of these right in my entire life. So,
Wow.
No.
balancing...
You didn't tell us that before we booked you.
No.
For what it's worth, I've never got anything right on the chase.
Neither have I.
You surprised me. I don't think he's telling the truth, no.
I think he's lying.
OK, yeah, we'll say it's a lie.
You're going to say it's a lie. Rylan, mugged by a fox. Truth or lie?
It is, in fact, very true, and I'm embarrassed.
Possession.
Ah, right, OK. There's a box under the desk. Now, there's a card inside it. Could you read the card out first? Then, when you've read it, take the item and place it on top of the desk.
Whenever I need to cry in a scene, I ask the director to hold this up behind the camera. There's something about it that helps the tears to flow.
OK, and then take out the object, just pop it on the desk. Right, just see if you can position it there. Please, team.
What is that?
It's a cat.
It's a
But he
glove
looks a bit
puppet.
like he's been treated badly.
Well, he has been treated badly because someone's cut his back legs off.
I know.
And how long have you had this badly treated cat?
About 20 years.
Oh. So since you were about 7? No, I was only joking.
Why? David will remember him from various scenes in Peep Show as well.
Oh, this is good. I've never seen this done before. Dragging a teammate into a...
So he would sometimes hold the cat.
So maybe it wasn't the cat that made you cry. Maybe it was...
Never thought that through.
Yeah.
I wasn't on set for Broadchurch, so...
But the cat is called David, so maybe I've never made that connection before.
So is David Tennant holding that up in Broadchurch?
It's the director, normally, behind the camera.
Right.
But
And if you look...
I know.
Could I have David?
OK,
please?
just be nice
Not
to
you.
him.
Thank you. What if you two were to sort of improvise a dramatic scene? Right, you're telling David, he's playing your husband, ludicrous, that you've met another man and you're going to leave, but you're sad because you have 6 children, you're going to miss them, it's not going to be easy.
Ooh.
I, at a given point,
OK.
will pop it up, and when I pop it up, I want you to let the tears flow.
OK.
Whenever Rob pops it up, a woman cries.
I didn't hear that. I only assume it was very insulting.
It'd be something snide.
OK. Off you go.
OK.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling. I'm afraid I'm running off with Alberto, the guitar teacher.
Alberta? What, even after I voted for Brexit?
I just couldn't help myself.
If only they'd trigger Article 50 more quickly, he'd be gone by now. I'm getting some political satire in. Are you all right, darling?
Yes. Sorry. I will try and keep it together. I'm really sorry. Sorry to do...
Is it possible to look at the cat to see if it looks 20 years old? Because I think a...
If you throw him to me, I'll throw him over to John.
No, I'm not throwing him.
Don't worry, he'll land on his feet.
To be gentle. Thank you, Aston. That's very kind.
Oh, did you see that?
That was a good
quite
catch.
good, wasn't it?
Is that what you do on Spring Watch? You just pull the blue tits out of the sky. Let's have a look at this blue tit. And now an owl. He looks a bit...
manky
He
and
looks
old.
Really
battered.
manky, isn't
He looks battered.
But
Can you smell
can't...
it?
Go on, have a sniff.
12 years old, that.
So what do you think? Truth or lie?
Michaela?
I think you're way too good an actress to need something like that.
So you say it's a lie?
I think it's definite.
Sorry.
I think I would have read it in an interview.
Yeah. So you're saying it's a lie?
Yes.
OK, we'll say it's a lie.
You say it's a lie. Olivia, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Oh, thank goodness.
I once kept a fish in Ribena.
Right. David's team.
A live fish in
A
Ribena.
live fish.
What fish was it?
Goldfish.
What did it die of? Diabetes?
Just old age, it was 4. It lasted ages.
So was this Ribena, like neat Ribena?
So what happened is, in the olden days, when I was younger, you could win fish at the fair.
Why did you look at me when you said olden days?
was at the fair with my dad, won on the hook a duck, a fish, because that's what they used to give you. And then on the way home, as I am very clumsy, I dropped the fish on the floor, and the only thing that we had was a carton of Ribena. So my dad ripped it open, half of it with his teeth, popped the little fish in, took it home.
So how long was it in this Ribena?
About a good 15 minutes.
Or a traumatic 15 minutes.
I've seen your dad on Gogglebox.
Yeah?
He doesn't strike me as the kind of man that's ripping that Ribena off.
Whose team are you on?
I think he's just going to, like, squash it and buy a new one.
Oh, no, because we love animals and fish and that. You can't just kill a fish.
I mean, I have to say, you can just kill a fish, and there are many restaurants that trade pretty much exclusively on that premise.
No, I know, but to, like, kill it...
I mean, if you think you're going to these places and they all died of natural causes, then... Sorry, we're not frying tonight, we're waiting for a cod pandemic.
That's funny, you know, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I knew it would come at some point.
I'm scared of fish.
You're scared of fish? Even goldfish?
I don't like no fish. I don't like the way they look at me. And when I was little, a fish slapped me in the face and Brooks the market. It freaks me out.
I don't think the fish slapped you in the face, Narstie.
It slapped me in the face.
No, it was a person slapped you in the face with a fish.
No, the fish jumped up and it slapped me.
I sit corrected.
I don't care that we're on TV. I don't care that we're on TV. I've got to tell the truth, yeah? I was with my mum and dad in Brixton Market. I was like, oh, fishes. Walked over there, they was all on the ice and that. So you go over there thinking, right, dead fish. Touched it and jumped up, slapped me. Yeah? Then Hussein bolted it, yeah? Mum had to put in a run. Seriously, stop.
I think this is the truth.
What are you thinking, Prue? Does it strike you as true?
I think Scarlett's a fantastic actress.
Isn't she?
Isn't she? And it's just a lie.
A lie?
Narstie, what about you?
Do you think it's true or a lie?
Hold on, let me change it to Poirot. Well, monsieur, it seems too good to be true. Mademoiselle is lying.
You think it's a lie?
I think it's a lie, monsieur.
You think it's a lie? I will go with my team and say it's a lie.
I'm going to go with your team, say it's a lie.
Yeah.
No, Narstie, she presses the button. But I love your enthusiasm. So, Scarlett Moffatt, a goldfish in a carton.
Yeah.
Truth or lie?
It was true.
At school, I once rubbed stinging nettles all over my face and told my teacher I was ill so I could go and meet a boy in a graveyard.
David's team.
True. So this was a date in the graveyard. Was the boy living?
He was just before we met, yeah.
And these, Joe, you say these are your school days, so we're talking about the 1990s. Now, what was the...
Yeah.
It's my way of being flattering
Rob.
and gentle. Chivalrous, you say. Chivalrous. When was this, Joe?
The 1890s.
That would have been the late 60s, actually, early 70s.
Late 60s?
Yeah.
Gosh, OK. So when you walked into the graveyard like this, he must have been shocked to see you.
Rob, he was pleased to see me. He knew what he was going to get.
Whoa. What was he going to get?
I bought him a cake.
So freshly nettled, you go and find your teacher. What happens then?
Well, I say to the teacher, I'm really not feeling well. I don't know whether I ate something for lunch that's given me some sort of allergic reaction. Can I go home?
I mean, I don't know. I've never run a school. But are you allowed, if a child says they're ill, you're allowed to just say, yeah, off you go?
Well, I said to her that my mum was at home and I live within walking distance of the school.
It was the late 60s, early 70s. Very different time. Children hadn't long stopped going up chimneys. So what do you think?
Oh, I
Johnny?
think it's so unfeasible, it's probably true, don't we?
Well, that's the wrong way to reason. It should be unfeasible things are less likely to be true.
Yeah, but...
Although the true things are deliberately picked to be unlikely.
Exactly.
I travelled here by car, for example, never come up. That would be easy.
Sorry, can I just check something here?
Yeah.
Why do you get a car?
Yeah, it's a class thing, you know.
Well, they still shouldn't make me drive your car.
Right, Joe, in the graveyard with
What
the
do you
young
think?
man.
It's
True.
Because it sounds so unlikely.
Yeah.
I still think it's flawed reasoning, but we'll go true.
You're saying that it's true.
Yeah.
Right, Joe. Truth or lie?
It is a lie.
I was genuinely invited to Harry and Meghan's wedding today, but I said no because I had to come here and do this.
David's team.
Why were you invited?
Well, that, David, is as much of a shock to me as it is to you. I'm on
Do
the
you
telly.
know, for example, Prince Harry or Meghan Markle?
Well, I've met Prince Harry and he was very nice and he did say that he was a fan of this show. So he's definitely seen me because I'm on this show.
If this is true, it's a bit of a blow to me and Rob. Because I wasn't invited. Maybe Rob was as well.
I really can't say.
I think we know if Rob was invited, he would be able to say.
Well, this is interesting because I want to know if you were invited, because as soon as I got the invite, I met Prince Harry and I know he's a fan of the show, so I immediately assumed that you two had been invited as well.
Yeah.
So I went to phone you, and I phoned you first, and I put the phone down, because I didn't want to ask in case you hadn't been invited. I thought it wouldn't be a good idea.
Yes, it would be a horrible thing to let slip, wouldn't it?
Yes.
If you'd been invited, it would be a horrible thing to do to someone under any circumstances, even if it wasn't in public.
So you think he's going, OK, George Clooney...
Yeah.
David Beckham... Oprah Winfrey, Lee.
He didn't even know my surname.
I should point out to people watching at home that it is the royal wedding day today. Yeah. As we record this, it happened today, didn't it?
And it was a lovely wedding as well.
Look, it brought people together, didn't it? And you know what I'm glad about? Yeah. I'm glad he wasn't there.
Yes.
Did it come through the post?
It went through my agent.
It was more like a booking. Were they expecting you to do some of your silly humour or something?
Did you have a +1 as well?
Yes, I did.
And so your wife was happy for you to come and do this instead of going to the royal wedding?
Well, actually, my wife couldn't go anyway. So that was the other problem as well. And then I thought, well, who would I take? And I did actually think of one of you two. I thought that's going to be more awkward. So I immediately... But then I thought maybe it's not awkward. If David's been invited, as I suspected, and Rob hasn't, I'll take Rob. And then we're all going. There was a lot of social etiquette. I was a mess.
That is the other question. Why didn't... Because the wedding finished...
Well, this is the irritating
about
thing.
1.
Yes,
and then there was a lunch.
I got the invite that said the wedding is going to be at 12 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And I thought in my head, no one would say 12 o'clock, meaning that's when the wedding is. That would mean, you know, you turn up at 12 o'clock and then you go through all the rigmarole of security, blah, 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 and actually the wedding's going to be about 2. Then you've got the actual ceremony, then you've got the meal. I wasn't going to get here because...
Yes, it's like when you buy theatre tickets. The time is just when they think you should leave home.
Look, lads, I appreciate you're angry.
Yeah. Very angry.
I didn't write the invites.
Very angry and very hurt and very bruised, whether this is true or not. That's the terrible thing, because my thought processes have gone down the lines of it being true, and it feels like I've been through it emotionally, even if I haven't.
OK, time to decide.
Well, I think it's unlikely. I'd love it to be true, but I think it's unlikely.
I wouldn't.
This has been one of the most psychologically damaging thought experiments I've ever gone through, and so I couldn't. I don't think I could pronounce the words. I think this is true. Oh, I just did.
You think it's true?
We're going to say lie?
I think lie.
Lie. We're going to say lie.
I've a horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach that it's true. It's like waiting with a specialist for a result.
Yeah. Ironically, if this is true, when that moment comes for both of us, it'll just be a mercy.
Tell us. They think it's a lie. I pray it's a lie.
It is, in fact, true.
Well, I hope that's the last question of the evening.
Well,
how did you
thank
keep
you
that
for
secret?
watching. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for watching.
Oh, actually, there's something else as well. Sorry, I've got to tell you this as well, which is quite important. This is a true story as well. I was lying. Look at this smile on his little face. Look at his little happy face.
You're okay, it's all right.
It's all right. Yes! Praise be it was a lie. Of course it was a lie. Lee wasn't invited, of course he wasn't, to Harry and Meghan's wedding.
Do you know what I think? I think the producers of this show are just trying to turn us against each other.
They're doing a good job.
For 1 month, I chose to sleep on the streets rather than talk to the people I was supposed to be living with.
David C.
And at what stage in your life was this?
What stage?
Yes.
Do you mean how old was I?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Age 20.
Whereabouts? Where was it?
Spain.
What made you vacate your house?
There was no house and I never went to it.
You never went there at all?
It was a hotel or hostel thing, you know, not a house, yeah. I went there, stood outside.
OK.
Looked at it.
Yeah.
Thought, nah.
So it wasn't the people, it was the...
It was the idea of the people.
You wanted to live alone and were surprised that a hostel didn't afford the possibility.
And you stayed on the street for a whole month.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, bar a couple of nights here or there, yeah.
Did you pull on the other nights? What happened on those?
You're absolutely right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So on those occasions, the thought of other people wasn't quite so loathsome.
Yes.
Where in Spain was this?
It was in Salamanca, and I slept on a bench, right dead centre of a square.
How were you washing your clothes?
I didn't.
Well, how many pairs of pants did you have?
I'm going to say 4, but...
4 for a month without washing them?
I said 4, but it could have been 7.
Well, 7's not enough. You need 28, otherwise you're an animal.
I hate to support your own teammate against you, Lee. If you're going to a place for a month, you might decide that you're not going to take enough underwear to have a fresh pair of pants every day without ever washing.
How many pairs of pants do you own?
I think I've probably got about... I've got maybe...
Look at you, desperate thinking. What is the right answer? There's no right or wrong. You're amongst friends.
I think I've got about 14 pairs I'm happy with.
Yeah.
And another 4 or 5 that would do at a pinch, and I use the word advisedly.
Predominantly boxers or bikini brief?
Predominantly... I mean, it's interesting that this is what the conversation's come down to. Predominantly what I believe is referred to as a sort of trunk.
You favour the trunk?
Yeah.
I think you mean the jockey short. Like a boxer short shape, but tight.
Look, I'll just take my trousers off and you can look.
I did wash a pair of pants.
Oh, you remember that?
I did wash
It's amazing how these things come back to you.
The reason I chose the middle of the square was because there was a bin lorry that would come round every morning in concentric circles, just spraying from the side of the lorry, hosing down the square. I would stay in the middle, and then I would wash in the bin lorry when it got to the centre. And one day I did wash a pair of pants on the hose on the side of the bin lorry. I did.
Wow.
I did.
So you
Hi, girls. This is my friend Rhod. Would you like a drink?
You put a pair of pants in the way of a bin lorry's hose to wash it.
I used to wash in the bin lorry, well, a tap at the side of the bin lorry, yeah.
So they wouldn't mind you sauntering up to the bin lorry and turning the tap on?
They were very amenable, the local bin men, Miguel.
So you got to
Did you learn the phrase, can I wash my pants on the side of your bin lorry in Spanish?
Se puede lavarme los... what's underpants in Spanish, Rob?
Pantalondero.
Sí. Pantalondero.
How many pants have you got, Rob?
I was just given a gift. It was my birthday recently, not that you'd know from any response from you. And...
I didn't know you were still alive. What did you get for your birthday?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I got some...
Old man who forgot the story. I got a lovely present anyway. On with the game. Do you remember, Rob, you were telling us a lovely story about your pants? Tell us about your pants.
I got some pants.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
So, Ronan Keating, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Toff, what about you?
I think it's a completely insane thing to do what you did, so I think you're lying.
There is a lot of detail. I'm going to go true.
You're saying it's true. OK, Rhod. Was it the truth, or was it a lie?
It was a... true!
Yeah.
On a recent trip to the zoo, my bag was hijacked by a one-armed monkey.
Me?
What zoo was it?
London Zoo.
And which arm was it?
The left was missing, right intact.
As you look at it, or from the monkey's perspective?
His left was missing.
OK.
And why was it missing, Al?
I don't really know. I mean, we were merely visitors in the zoo, Stace. I didn't know the backstory of the monkey.
No, I accept.
Who is we?
Me and my husband and our little boy.
Your little boy. So you've gone for a little family day at the zoo?
Yeah.
And aren't monkeys usually behind cages or behind glass?
Well, they are, apart from when you get to the rainforest section. And in the rainforest section, there are birds, there are monkeys, there are sloths. It's a free-for-all.
Did the monkey have a name? Because often they name them, don't they?
The monkey's name was Bandit.
Bandit?
As in one arm.
Oh, come
on. What sort of monkey? It wasn't a chimp, was it?
I'm not David Attenborough, I don't know. But
Excuse me, a chimpanzee, even though it looks like a monkey, isn't a monkey.
Well spotted. I deliberately said that.
Even though a chimp is totally, in every meaningful way, obviously it's a monkey, it's not a monkey. You know, it's a special place that's been made by biologists for pedants to reside, so that whenever anyone refers to a chimpanzee as a monkey like you did, then a pedant like me says, oh, no, a chimpanzee isn't a monkey, and I've started to hate myself for that.
Nice of you to join the rest of us.
What happened?
I'm pushing the pram. Said monkey travelled from a tree and landed on the pram. Yeah. My maternal instinct obviously kicks in, so I take Ted...
You cuddled the monkey.
I took Ted out of the pram, and then the monkey got hold of the bag attached to the pram. In he went, spreading monkey DNA over all of the contents.
What? How big is the monkey? What, that big?
A bit smaller.
You sure it wasn't a squirrel? was it like this?
I think you're fine, Rob. I think you're fine, Rob. It was like this. You've not been listening, have you?
Oh, no. I'm not paying attention. What do you think, Lee? Does it ring true?
There is not a single element to that story that sounds believable.
You're the boss, but I think it's a massive lie.
Gotta be a lie, then.
You're saying it's a lie?
Gotta be a lie.
OK, Alex, was it the truth or was it a lie?
It is, in fact, true.
I can walk from my house to the corner shop on only one gulp of air. And and regularly do so, just for fun.
These two.
How far's the corner shop from your house, David?
4 miles. No, it's, I mean, it's yards.
And when do you take the gulp?
Earlier that day.
Is it before the moat or after the moat?
It's as I clear
as
the drawbridge.
As the drawbridge has landed, and you've stepped off the drawbridge.
Absolutely.
Approximately how many houses are there from you and the corner
To the corner shop, I think 25. But these are just estate workers' cottages.
But so there's
and pass them very, very quickly.
Why did you go to the shop and think, I'll take a gulp of air and hold your breath till you get there?
It started on a day where I had a problem with serial hiccups. One way of getting rid of hiccups is to hold your breath, but I was also going to the shop, and I was trying to hold my breath as long as possible.
And is it not an awkward moment when one of your neighbours passes you and says, "Morning, David," and you go, "Morning"?
Yes, and on occasion I have given up on the holding the breath in order to greet someone and seem like a normal human.
Why don't you demonstrate it for us?
You want me to walk back and forth across the set holding my breath?
Yes.
And that, in your view, would achieve something? I won't be able to talk you through it, of course.
No, of course not. We will observe you.
Which is one of the many reasons this is such an ill-fated idea.
Shall we be your wife and child?
Well, they're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, or you could be a grandfather clock and a piano. You're not part of this.
OK, so you're saying goodbye to Lucy, your lovely wife, and your boy who shot up Dion. All right, off you go. You're heading to the corner shop.
Farewell, beloved family, for I must go to the shop.
See you, Dad.
Yeah.
All right, you get to the front gate.
Morning, David. Glad you never talk to me.
I'm stuck here with a baby and you're parading around the street.
Your flies are undone.
Debbie said my flies are undone, and I just exhaled and went, "Are they?" So the experiment is completely ruined. My flies.
So what are you going to say, Lee?
I
don't believe in the shop.
No.
What?
I'm imagining that David lives in the countryside somewhere.
Yeah. No, I've been to David's house. It's a ghetto.
You
The bit he's missing out is that when he gets to the shop, all his crew are hanging around outside.
Yeah.
Doing your graffiti again. Can I play?
I don't think it's true.
I don't think so.
Well, I'll go with my team and say that's not true.
You're going to say it's a lie. David, truth or lie?
Well, it is a lie.
Yeah.
One Christmas, on hearing I wasn't going to get the present I wanted, I tried to drown myself. In protest.
David C.
Tell us the story.
Well, I wasn't going to get the present I wanted.
Which was? What did you want?
The Spice Girls' debut album, Spice.
It's a lie. That's so weird, because I did get it, and I did try and drown myself.
No! Don't applaud that. It's a great album.
How old were you then?
I was like 10 or 11.
Right.
So you wanted the album...
No, you really wanted it.
Stop right now. So you wanted the album?
Yes, I really wanted it.
In case it don't use mine in the edit, yeah? Well, can I just say stop right now?
Yeah.
I'll have that one if they use this.
Who's your friend? Big Ears?
So what happened, James?
I wanted the Spice Girls album, Spice. And so did my sister. We'd both been pestering our parents a lot for the album. My father decided he had to tell us before Christmas who was going to get the album or not, because he didn't want an upset on Christmas Day. And so he waited until we were in a safe space with the local swimming pool. We'd all gone for a family swim.
Yeah.
And
It's a lovely Christmassy thing to do. A lot of people do a lot of swimming in the run-up to Christmas.
Yes. Because it was in honour of the 7 swans of swimming.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We were swimming, and then my dad called a family meeting.
Shallow end?
Shallow end, yes. Oh, you're not treading water during a family meeting. He said, right, it's a week until Christmas, and I'm just going to let you know that Ruth is getting the Spice Girls album.
Ridiculous.
Well, where were you then? Because at the time, I looked like I overreacted.
Well, take us through this reaction. Paint a picture of how a young James reacted.
It was like a storm came over me. I was very angry. And then I turned and I walked to the other end of the shallow end. I did a width.
Yeah.
I would have stormed away, but it's very hard. Yeah. Wade through the water. You have to say every now and again, I'm really cross. Went to the other end, and I turned round so they could see my face, and I just sat down slowly. And I was under the water. I went, well, I was thinking this. I guess I'll either stay here until one of 2 things happens. Either I get the Spice Girls' debut album Spice, or I'm gonna die.
Which happened?
Well, what happened was, I came back up again, and I saw that not only were they not... They were just carried on swimming. They got always under the water now, and my dad quickly went, problem solved, and they carried on swimming.
What are you thinking, Noddy?
I just don't think his dad would do that. I think he'd buy 2 albums.
Oh, I'm unaware that you knew my father, Noddy.
What do you think about the 2 albums buying issue?
Well, like, as a parent, I just would have thought that just quietly, like, going off to HMV to buy an album is easier than taking the whole family for a group swim.
So what are you going to say, David? What's it going to be?
I think it's fun.
I'll say lie.
You think that you both think it's a lie? I'm going to say lie.
OK.
Yeah.
James, were you telling us the truth, or was it a lie?
I was telling the truth.
The police once surrounded my house after I set off an alarm in my bikini bottoms.
David's team.
Interesting. Interesting location for the alarm. What was the alarm that you set off, and how did you set?
It was the house alarms. I was actually ironing in the garden with my bikini on, and I had the remote control for the alarms tucked down my bikini.
Let me stop you there. I could have sworn you said you were ironing in the garden in your bikini.
Yes.
It's a classic domestic scene.
I love that commitment to ironing. I haven't ironed anything since the late 90s. But very good.
We can tell, Lucy.
Yeah.
When was this, Debbie?
Oh, quite a few years ago now.
And in your bikini bottoms was the remote control for what?
That set off the house alarms.
For the burglar alarm?
Yes,
essentially.
So I don't know what you call them.
A panic button.
Be like a panic button, yeah.
I think if I was in the garden in a bikini ironing, I'd feel very vulnerable, because there's a lot of flesh, isn't there, in the iron? You know how easy the phone rings and you do that? Did you not
to be
feel...
honest, if you're gonna smash the iron into your head, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a bikini or the uniform of the Chelsea pensioners, you're still going to get burnt.
So what happened when you pressed the alarm? Who was alerted and what did they do?
So I didn't know, because it doesn't set the alarms off. It just rings the police. And so 15 policemen came round the corner.
They shouted, no, start with the collar, then the sleeves.
I never tried read it again, so I don't know.
How did they react? Did they see the funny side?
Yes.
No, she wasn't facing them.
I know that's rude, but I can't quite figure out why. OK, well, I mean, it's elaborate, it's odd, it's unusual. Is it true?
In my younger days as a sun worshipper, I would do anything outdoors. When you're young and you want a tan, you just do anything.
What do you think?
Oh, I think...
Wow. You know you had to make quicker decisions on the football pitch, don't you?
I think that's true.
You think it's true?
I think
you think it's true? We think it's true.
They think it's true. Debbie, truth or lie?
It's true.
It says possession.
Now, first of all, read out the card, and then when you've done that, take the object and pop it on the desk.
I once bought a chest of drawers for my bedroom online. I realised I'd made a terrible mistake when this arrived.
David's team.
Is it a doll's house one, is it?
All the evidence is there, Mary. No, not full size.
Yeah.
She's massive.
Sarah, on those things, when you buy online, they do have measurements. Did you not think to look at them?
I knew that with things like clothes and shoes. I didn't know some charlatans were making furniture this small.
So you think they were charlatans? They weren't just sincerely making doll's house furniture. They were trying to pass off doll's house furniture as full-size furniture online.
That's what I think they're doing.
You weren't surprised by the comparatively inexpensive postage and packing?
No.
If out, put through letterbox.
Honestly, if you saw a picture of this just close...
It's massive!
How much was it, Sarah?
Yeah. £35.
So did you just think you were getting like a full-on bargain?
Very cheap.
Yeah, but that's
right.
gone from a relative bargain to a lot to pay for that.
I was disappointed.
Do the drawers actually open and shut? Is it functional?
The thing is, Rob, in a way, it's just like a normal chest of drawers.
It really is, isn't it?
Oh. Like, you can put stuff in there, it's just not big enough for my trousers and my...
Sarah, so do you normally buy online your furniture?
I've got this habit at the moment, Mary. I like to buy things when I'm drunk, and then it's a surprise.
Why did you not send it back?
Yes, did you... Because you can, on these things, you can contact the seller, can't you? And you can
Do you know,
rate them or complain.
Can I be truly honest with you?
Please do.
Honestly,
How are you going to do?
Again, I love this. And I was too embarrassed to say that I hadn't checked the measurements.
Where do you keep it now?
I keep it in my kitchen.
Why?
Well, I like to put money in there.
How much? How much money can you get in there?
£1 in there.
Yeah.
£2 in there.
Yeah.
A rolled up fiver.
Yeah.
And then a 20 if I've had to get a cab a long way. And it's good for spares, good for... If you're tipping, someone has delivered you something...
A pound, 2 or 5.
Yeah.
Depending...
What if you want to do 3? That would kill me, that.
You just add the 1 to the 2.
A pound and a 2.
What do you think? Mary, what are you thinking?
It's a sweet story, Sarah, but I cannot believe you buy when you're drunk. So I think it's a lie, Sarah.
Rylan?
I disagree a little bit with Mary because I am a drunk buyer. I do like it late at night going, oh, I love something like that. But not a chest of drawers.
So what are you going to say, David, as captain of your team?
You think it's a lie?
I think it's a lie.
Well, we're going to say lie.
It's got to be a lie, then. OK, Sarah.
Yep.
Truth or lie?
OK, I'm very relieved to tell you that it is true.
Oh, no!
Until last year, I believed that reindeer were fictional creatures like unicorns, until my 6-year-old daughter told me the truth.
Please, team.
Until how long ago?
Last year.
How
Is it because Father Christmas's reindeers fly? So that's why they couldn't possibly
maybe
be
that's
true.
why I came to that
get
conclusion. That I just felt like it was a ridiculous notion, yeah.
You were aware of deer, though, weren't you?
Yes, actually I was.
So you'd
Because of Bambi.
Deer?
Hang on, because of a fiction... This doesn't make sense. You've seen a fictional reindeer...
Well, if
Bambi
flew, then I probably wouldn't have believed in deer.
What about Dumbo? Did you not believe in elephants?
Did you stop believing in carpets when you saw Aladdin?
You know, I remember my ex-husband telling me that the moon was made of cheese, and I believed that. Like, there are things that I...
I think we should stop here for a second. You genuinely believed what your husband said when he said the cheese?
Well, I thought maybe it had, like, the same chemical makeup as cheese.
Can I just point out, Lily, you are saying this out loud on television.
Wow. Let's go back to the conversation between you and your little girl. How did it come about and what did she say?
I was going to take them on a trip to Lapland.
Right.
My daughter said, are there going to be reindeer? And I said, don't be ridiculous, reindeer aren't real.
What was her reaction to that?
She had been to another farm in Gloucestershire and had seen some reindeer, so she knew that reindeer were real.
And how long did this carry on?
Until I googled reindeer.
Wow.
So, what are you going to say?
Well, it's tricky ones, because I can't believe she's never, up until that point, seen a reindeer.
I don't understand how you can go through life without seeing a real reindeer.
Sorry, are we talking about reindeer? Not...
Hello, David.
No, but... Sorry, reindeer, they don't exist, do they?
No, Grandpa's woken up from his sleep on Christmas Day.
You can definitely go through your life without seeing reindeer.
No, you can't.
They're not like pigeons.
So what's it going to be, Lee? Let's go for a decision.
I mean, I still can't believe that giraffes are real. I've been to the zoo and I've seen giraffes. I still don't quite believe they're real.
Did you get out and feel it like Noddy would? I think it's a lie.
She's very believable, though.
You think she's lying, but she's believable?
Yeah.
And what kind of answer is that? I hope it's a lie, for Lily's sake.
Lily, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
I was telling a lie.
OK, when the Spice Girls stayed in hotels, we played a special game to test who was the bravest.
What was the game?
We used to dare each other to do certain things.
What was the scariest thing you were ever dared to do?
Sing live?
Rob, you've got to watch that, because a lot of people think you're nice.
That's why you get the boat advert and me and him don't, because you're the nicest
Nice one.
Yeah.
But it's all a
Not
facade, because
anymore.
me and David know,
Not
actually,
anymore.
you are evil.
Yeah.
And now...
Welcome aboard. So, Emma, what sort of things did you do?
So the main one was, and it involved nudity.
Right.
So we used to stay in hotels a lot, obviously, while we were touring.
Yeah.
And we used to dare each other to go, like, run in the hallways, and we had to do that naked.
Naked?
Yeah. We were allowed sometimes to carry a
Clothes.
flannel.
A flannel?
Yeah.
What were you worried was going to happen?
You could cover. You had to choose a part, obviously, to cover.
Victoria could use that as a dressing gown.
So if someone saw you, you could decide which part of you were known by and cover that up.
Jim, cover your face.
Yeah.
I remember once the girls made me go to the lift.
Yeah.
And wait for the lift to arrive.
No.
And then, obviously, you were lucky if it opened and no one was there.
Oh, no. I suddenly felt like...
You're really getting into this story.
I suddenly felt I'd been challenged to do it myself. Yeah. Joe, you've toured the country, haven't you, with your show? You've stayed in hotels.
Never found a flannel big enough, Rob.
I think it's the logistics of the game that interest me, typically. I want to understand better how the competition worked.
We'd take two at a time, and then the first one back, knocking on the door, that would be the winner.
It's a knockout. Two become one. It's simple.
Johnny, what do you think? True?
I think it does sound like it all adds up so far.
Sean, what are you thinking
I've
here?
been consistently wrong tonight. Unerringly wrong.
Well, in which case, if you maintain your current strategy, we can use that to win. So, what do you think, instinctively?
Lie.
Lie. Right, it's true, then. Right.
So, Emma, truth or lie?
Okay. It is true.
It's Narstie. It's time to wake up.
It says possession, but I was young. I was young.
There's a little box under your desk. If you take the item out of the box and put it on the desk, OK, pop it on the desk first, and then read out the card.
This is an Ukabong. Me and my cousins would each make an Ukabong to play the Narstie family game, Ukabong.
There we are. Lee's team.
So you're saying it's called an Ukabong?
Ukabong. Ukabong.
How do you spell it, Narstie? Just spell it for Lee, because he's a bit slow.
U-K...
Yeah?
A...
Yeah?
And then bong.
Bong.
U-K-A...
And then bong. Bong.
How do you make it? What's it made of?
It's a sock.
It's made out of socks.
Yeah. What's inside the sock?
More socks.
More socks.
Is it just lots of socks?
So, boom, basically, it's a family game, and everyone has their own Ukabong.
Do you hit each other?
Yeah. It's your own tool.
So you whack people with that?
Yeah.
With the Ukabong?
Yeah, with your own Ukabong, but there's stipulations to it. You've got to all be in a room, and you've got to turn off the lights. Yeah? And the hit only counts, yeah, is if you hit someone and you say Ukabong. If you hit someone, yeah, and you don't say Ukabong, the whole room rushes you. And then my grandma says the first one who cries gets beaten. We be in my grandma's, yeah, up top room. Boom, there's like 15 cousins and my Uncle Simon, yeah? Boom. My Uncle Simon's a cool cat. He was a cool cat.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, boom now. Everyone's got their Ukabong.
David is very nervous.
Yeah. I haven't even got my own Ukabong. I'm defenceless.
Hang on a minute. No, I've got one here.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
So, boom now, yeah? We're in the room now. It's where it's all dark and that. Swinging at everyone. Ukabong, Ukabong. So then, boom, if I hit you, Ukabong. Yeah. Obviously, it probably hurts. You go, ah. But then now, my Uncle Simon, yeah? We thought he had the special Ukabong.
Oh, this is taking a sinister turn.
Man thought his Ukabong was sent from God. Do you know what Uncle used to do? He used to put a tennis ball in his Ukabong.
Do you know what? I thought it was going to be worse than that.
So, he would come with, like, Zeus's Ukabong. Yeah. One shot, KO. Everyone's out. Starts crying. Grandma comes in. Everyone gets their ass passed. We have to read Bible.
If it's dark, how does everyone know that you've successfully Ukabonged somebody? You could be lying.
But you'll hear someone say ow, or
Yeah, the ow. No, you're definitely going to hear an ow. And when Uncle Simon ones goes off, it's more of a...
What do you think, Scarlett?
I want to do it. Yeah. I really want to do it now. I think it's true.
Scarlett.
Yay, colour!
Oh, God!
Yes!
Hang on.
Yes! Ukabong!
Ukabong! This is fun.
Hey, guys, I've got a great idea. Let's all Ukabong Rob.
There we are. That's what we pay our licence fee for. What are you thinking then, Lee? Why don't you go for a guess here?
What do you think?
I think it's 100% true.
You do? Why?
Yeah. Because it's just fun, isn't it? I can imagine you doing that. Is that
fun?
Ah!
Oh, sorry, Ukabong.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no, we all have to attack him.
That's just domestic violence without Ukabong, bruv.
Thomas, I'm with the other two. I think it's absolutely true.
All think it's true. OK. Narstie. Truth or lie?
Truth!
Yes, it's true. Narstie's family did play a game called Ukabong.